Ag with Jimmy Clark.
Hey, good day to all you great stewards of the land. It is Today in Ag with Jimmy Clark, brought to you by the First National Bank and Trust of Elk City in Sayre, Oklahoma. Happy Thursday, everybody. Quickly, let's see what temperatures are out in western Oklahoma and the Texas Panhandle. That cold front is slowly creeping southeastward. 82 degrees at Goodwell, 87 at Arnett, 93 here at Elk City, and 91 at Hobart. So it's coming in here. Well, I got a really special guest on here with me today, Dr. Rosalind Biggs from OSU. She is with she's a beef cattle extension specialist, and also she's an assistant professor at the Oklahoma State University Veterinary and Clinical Sciences there in Stillwater. Thank you so much for joining me today, Dr. Biggs.
I appreciate the opportunity.
Oh, yeah. It's always great to talk with you. And how's things up in Stillwater? Good?
Well, I don't know that we're quite above 90 yet, but we're headed that direction. So we could use some more rain, as could western Oklahoma, but not too bad overall.
Good deal. Okay, so you guys at OSU, especially you and Dr. Beck, that I see a lot on all the stuff, you guys have been putting out some really, really good information on the New World Screwworm. And it's, especially since last Thursday, it's all that's in the media right now. And I've been talking about it since then, and, I'm just telling people, you don't need to panic. We've been, a lot of the old timers around here have been through this before, and now we have better technology. We have more information out there. People got cell phones and all this other stuff, but it's kind of, it's backlashing a little bit in some areas also with some information that, it's affecting the food chain, and we don't know. And Brandon Hickey and I from the Cell Barn talked a little bit about a Tuesday on the show. It's a herd health problem. And you're the perfect person to explain to everybody what's going on with this New World Screwworm.
Well, I definitely agree with you. We're not in a situation where we want people to panic. We've not seen New World Screwworm here in the United States at any scale since the 1960s, but we are better positioned at this point to respond. What folks need to know is, this is an infestation. It's an insect that we're worried about. It's not a contagious viral disease, for instance. And so we've got some tools, and within Oklahoma, we've been preparing for, 18 to 24 months. Time gets away from me, but Oklahoma Department of Agriculture, State Veterinarian's Office, USDA is taking this seriously, and I think we're positioned. We were hoping we weren't going to see it in the U.S., but here we are with cases in Texas as well as one in New Mexico, and we want folks to be aware. So let's talk a little bit about screwworm itself. The name can be a little misleading because we're not really dealing with a worm, right? Our biggest concern is that we have this fly. The female flies lay eggs around any body opening, whether that's a wound or a natural body opening. They may have a preference there. But our biggest concern is the larvae or the maggots of this particular fly, because they feed on live tissue, unlike our more common maggots that we have here in the U.S. that would feed on dead tissue.
Right.
So as we look at this on a response, we're encouraging folks to think hard and be aware. Again, we don't want them to be scared, but encourage them to have a veterinary client-patient relationship, visit with their veterinarian, evaluate what the best options for them as an operation are going to be what products are potentially need to be on their shelves, and then think about, do they have the capacity to get eyes on these animals on a regular basis, and what kind of facilities they have. Now, we talk a lot about this in the cattle sector, but it's important to note New World screwworm has the capacity to infest any warm-blooded animal, and in rare occasions can infest humans. Now, with that being said, our cases currently here in the U.S., although not in Oklahoma, we've seen cattle cases, we've seen a goat case, and we've seen a case in dogs. And so with that, we want to be cognizant of all our animals, and we want to be prepared.
Correct. And I've been saying that all along. It's going to take a little bit of, we need to be vigilant. Instead of checking your cows every 3 or 4 days, maybe it's time to step it up a little bit, go to every other day or every day. You're going to go check the water on them anyway, so you might as well check them as often as you can on cattle. And there's not a lot we can do with wildlife. It is fawning season right now for whitetail in Oklahoma. And if you do see some fawns out in your pasture, out in the wild or whatever, and something doesn't look right or there's a smell to it, it's time to maybe call the wildlife department or whoever and see if, keep an eye on it.
Definitely want to be getting eyes, whether that is, our domestic livestock, our companion animals, or if we're seeing issues in wildlife. We certainly want to take a look at that. We would much rather, the thing is if folks choose not to alert or not to report, it's going to be real easy for this fly to get established in the environment, and that's what we're trying to avoid. Because once we've got a heck of a lot more challenges once it's established in the environment. Now, here's something unique, and most folks probably recognize this with this fly, is that the primary way we eradicated New World screwworm previously in the U.S. was by what's called the sterile insect technique. And so with that, the male flies are irradiated. The female fly uniquely only mates once, and so if we put out those irradiated, again, sterile flies, once they mate with the female, that stops our life cycle, and that's the foundation of trying to get rid of this here in the U.S.
Right, and and it's pretty cool. I posted a story on my Facebook page last weekend or whenever it was about the history of it. And this started as early as in the 30s when they started working on this, and then a couple of the doctors down, I think in Texas, wherever they were, figured that out and initiated it, and it worked.
Really, yeah. Texas A&M researchers there made that discovery and really changed how we were able to deal with this. This is a costly pest to the industry, right? And so although we have new tools to treat and potentially prevent in some instances, we're better armed than we have before, but we sure need to be taking it seriously. Now, the one thing I do want to emphasize, and getting a lot of questions from the general public, is food safe to eat, right?
Right.
And the answer to that is absolutely yes. Even those animals that could potentially become infested, once they're treated and have recovered, they're in the food chain is not a concern.
Correct. And well, speaking of treating, you can't believe everything you see on social media or the news. I hear and see ivermectin, and of course the sterile flies and stuff like that. What Cow-Calf Corner email last week, Dr. Beck came out with his article was on resources available for the New World screwworm, and then the screwworm.gov is really great information. They got status and they got reported suspected cases and where they got fly traps and all that stuff. It's a really good website. But as a vet, you're a vet, and What are some of the ways that producers can prevent and or treat if they do get some?
Yeah, the main thing will be discussing. We got more options, as we talked about, than we did in the 60s, and we want folks to have those discussions now with their veterinarian, what the best option is going to be. We've got a number of approved products. Kudos to USDA for coordinating with FDA in particular. We've seen rapid approval of a number of products, both on the livestock side as well as the companion animal side. In fact, there was another approval this morning, so that list is continuing to grow, and that's good news. We've got approved products now for our livestock species. We want to make sure that we're keeping in mind this is a food producing animal, and if we're dealing with food producing animals, we need to stick with those approved options, which are going to be, many of them are going to be very familiar. I got to be careful that I don't recommend one over the other, Jimmy.
Right.
I'll get in trouble from
Yes,
my
ma'am.
extension folks.
Yes,
But
ma'am.
I do encourage folks to take a look at, in general, those products are going to fall into two categories. Have products that are going to work systemically, so throughout the body of the animal. So think kind of your more traditional injectable, what we call macrocyclic lactones, which are really about any product that ends in ectin. There's only a few that are formally approved, so keep that in mind.
Correct.
But then also we're going to have our topical products, and so many of those are going to be ones that folks are familiar with. To address flies, the fly spray I use at castration and dehorning time, that one's had a label on it for screwworm for really forever. And with that, we want to have an approach to addressing those. I'm not one to recommend just a topical product to treat and prevent. I'm probably going to use both a topical as well as a systemic option, depending upon the type of infestation we have. And let's hope we don't see this in Oklahoma and have to worry about that. But now's the time to have that discussion with folks as veterinarians. Now, good news for our companion animal folks. Many of them probably already have a preventative on board for their dogs, for instance. We've got a number of those products approved for screwworm that are also folks have been using for some time for fleas and ticks. And so that's another discussion point for our companion animals. And in fact, for many folks, they may already be covered.
Right. Exactly. And then what about equine? What about the horses and stuff?
Right. We don't necessarily, we're looking again at those macrocyclic lactone options on treating horses as well as topicals there.
Okay. And one of the listeners one of our producers, she said she wants to know if she should spray for flies even though they have tubs out with fly control in it to help control more of the flies.
Right. So one of the things I was at Stillwater Mill earlier today, and we were kind of having this discussion similar to what the listener's question is about. I do not want to in any way discourage folks from having fly control. Now, keep in mind the fly control. This is a fly that's going to feed the larvae, right? This is a fly that's going to lay its eggs in and around wounds or body openings. It's not going to feed in feces. And so some of our fly control products, feed-through type products, are not going to make a big dent on the New World screwworm fly. But we do have other products, depending upon the category, that are going to be a deterrent or a repellent against flies. And so talking that fly approach is a good idea, and really evaluating it. So keeping keep doing what you're doing as far as flies, and then look on the things as your listener mentioned that you may want to add on to.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so does since the adult fly lays its eggs in a wound or near a wound or whatever, scab, whatever, are these flies like our normal flies we have on animals? Do they hang around or they just move on?
Well, they're going to be ones that, they're going to be very similar and actually look very similar to blowflies. So this is a blowfly if folks are familiar with types of flies.
Right.
And so they don't have a huge travel distance, but they don't necessarily hang out on an animal like a face fly might. Now, my friends in livestock entomology and my veterinary parasitologist, I'm gonna get way past my skis here, Jimmy. They get nervous when I start talking about life cycles and distributions. But these are not ones that necessarily like to sit on the animal itself. If you've seen face flies or horn flies, where there's just clusters of them on animals, that's not typically the distribution we see.
Okay. Yeah, and that's good. And then there's a, like I said, you guys are in constant contact with everybody, including the USDA. And so if the movement, I'm pretty sure the way the news is going now, we're going to find out about the movement on the news probably before anybody else knows. Is that website that you guys have available for at OSU or the screwworm.gov one, is that the best way that people just need to stay in touch with what's going on?
Those are the ones I'm watching. When I'm starting my day, I'm checking those. Dr. Kamek over in livestock entomology, he's keeping our OSU screwworm site, and it is linked to the USDA site, which is screwworm.gov. Those are the ones that I'm staying in tune with. And in particular on that USDA side, I'm pulling up what they call the dashboard.
Right.
So folks can look at current status, then click on that dashboard, and then I'm refreshing that throughout the day watching. Most of the announcements appear to be in the afternoon, which is pretty typical on any kind of response. Most of those announcements are going to come out in the afternoon, and so that's, if folks are wondering, that's in the afternoon into the early evening is when, if you don't have only one time to check a day, that's the time to do it.
Right. Yep. Yeah, they're just you see most of your updates in the afternoon for sure. And and I'm on the website right now, and it's real easy to use and get on that dashboard that Dr. Biggs was talking about. And I noticed one thing, the screwworm was just being eradicated 100% when I started working on that farm and ranch that I was working on over in Ouachita and Custer County. But that fly, you can tell the difference between the screwworm fly and most of the rest of them. The way that's coloring, the orange eyes. Oh, by the way, I'm wearing orange just for you today. Okay.
All right. You can never go wrong with orange for sure.
So I just want to let you know, I put on my orange cap, my Oklahoma Farm Bureau orange hat, just for you because I wanted to be connected with you. You know what I mean?
That's good stuff.
So, so the fly, it looks way different, and you see people or hear people talking about, I don't know if I'm going to report this or not. It's just a way for them to come in and control my cattle operations for 3 or 4 days, whatever, quarantine, blah, blah, blah. But that's the thing you said earlier, that the thing about it is, okay, if you don't report it, it's going to get set up. It's going to expand more and more of it. And it's nothing about government control. We need to take control of this as quick as we can if it does show up here.
Yeah, for me, the biggest issue is if we don't have reporting, then we're not going to identify where the fly is set up in the environment. And if we don't know where it is in the environment, particularly, for us in Oklahoma, how far north it is, then there are only so many sterile flies currently available. Now they're working on that. 2 new production facilities, one in Mexico, and then the U.S. is in the process of getting our own here in the States. But they're not up and running quite yet. And so when at the current time, we've only got so many sterile flies available to us. So we want to put those in the right places, right? We want USDA and Texas Animal Health Commission in this instance to put those in the right place. So if we don't report, we don't know where the fly is, and we cannot use the tools in our battery to get this eradicated.
Right. And then another listener was wondering if they should maybe, just for the heck of it, go ahead and maybe especially around your working area or your lots or whatever, put out fly traps. Would that?
I think the things we can do. I'm never going to tell you no on controlling flies, from an animal welfare standpoint, from a financial benefit. And so those are things that we really want to take advantage of.
Right. Yeah. And so how do you?
These are blowflies. They're going to look similar to some blowflies we have currently here in the U.S. But again, that gets back to that reporting. If we see something that's suspicious, boy, we'd rather take a look at it. Most of the time, it's going to be one of those things where we're going to see maggots and wounds, right? And so we want to submit those. We want to coordinate with our veterinarian. Now, you've had me on before. I fully recognize that access to veterinary care is more challenging in certain areas than in others. And so with that, we also have the capacity with our OSU Extension offices. Our extension educators are set with collection kits if that's the best option for people and they don't have access to a veterinarian.
Correct. Yep. And how is that going? How's our recruiting vets? How's that going?
Well, we've still got a lot of work to do, but we are encouraged by the ones we've seen. We've had a lot of support from Oklahomans in addressing that issue, and we just turned a whole new set loose, and then we're getting our new dean's going to be here in just a couple of weeks. A private practitioner, Dr. Richard Prather.
Yes, ma'am.
That many of your listeners may know from Shattuck, Oklahoma, and so we're excited to get him here and on board and continue to do work to address that issue directly.
Yeah, I had him on the show a few days after that was announced because he's actually a year older than me, and we went to the same school. And
there you go.
And so he's he's a good one. So I'm happy for you guys, and I know that one of my favorite to be a veterinarian student was in one of your classes this year. Can you tell us any good stuff about Madison?
Well, I don't ever tell stories about any of my students. I'm proud of all of them, and I think if folks have the opportunity, just like Madison, to get to know them, do your part to encourage those young people that want to be veterinarians, and try to get them back to the communities we need them here in Oklahoma.
One last thing for you, Dr. Biggs. One of my listeners said, he shot me a message, and he said, since I hardly ever sleep, because as soon as my head hits the pillow, my brain laughed and start thinking of random crap. Maybe you know the answer to what kept me up last night. I looked on the website, but I couldn't find anything. It's about the New World screwworm has to lay its eggs in a living host, and the larvae eat living tissue till they're big enough to they what do they do? They purpate? Is that what they call that?
Yep, they're going to drop off that animal, and then they're going to pupate in the
pupate.
soil.
Yeah, that's it. Okay,
Hmm.
so he wants to know what animals are they using in the labs to create these 1 million flies a week?
That's a good question. I don't know that. I don't know that answer. I'll have to look up and see exactly. Again, I would be only guessing. Certainly, Dr. Justin Talley, one of our livestock entomologists, he's been to the facility in Panama and much more familiar with that process. These are the things that I know. They do the irradiation. They also dye those flies. They have a fluorescent. You folks may have seen some of those pictures, so we can tell the difference between a sterile fly and a native fly, if you will, in the environment. And those flies, their life cycle is typically 2 to 3 weeks. The flies themselves live around 2 weeks. But it's a very interesting life cycle, but it's to our advantage, some of the uniqueness about it, because it gives us the tools to eradicate this.
Right. So, one last thing. Next time you talk to your sister for me, will you ask her, or will you tell her that, hey, I was on the show with Jimmy the other day, and he was highly disappointed that he didn't see your name on the ballot for governor? see.
Well, you're not the first one to say that to me, but I am undoubtedly biased, but she's pretty good Secretary of Agriculture.
Oh my gosh, she's the best. I think she's the best, and we're actually super lucky to have both of you involved in our agriculture in Oklahoma. And I'm not saying that because I'm talking to you on the phone. It's coming from the heart from me, and we people need to feel lucky that we do have you guys in there. And I know I was at the Cattlemen's Congress earlier, the first of the year this year, and I was in there with one of my landlords at the governor's mansion when the Cattlemen's Congress had their meal, greet, and meet there. And my landlord from out here, she was going to introduce me from Blaine to Blaine, and Blaine turned around and said, "Jimmy, if you say anything about being a governor, I'm going to slap you." So seriously, we're really lucky to have you guys. And take this opportunity to brag on that oldest daughter, if you want, of yours, McGuire. I see her on social media with the horses, with the equine. She's doing super good with FFA, and one of these days I want to have her on the show to talk about her experiences she's been having.
Well, I appreciate that very much. I'm pretty proud of both my girls, and we're very fortunate to be in that Stillwater FFA program with some really 3 outstanding ag ed teachers. We've been very fortunate. She recently won the Agri-Science Animal Systems Proficiency at State Convention, so that was pretty special. And
see, she's just a sophomore, right?
She'll be starting her sophomore year this fall, and she's been showing a lot of horses too. Had a really good quarter horse show there in Oklahoma City a couple weeks ago, and still showing the ponies. Both girls had a really good regional show. We got to experience the new facility at Alva, so spent some time there, and then just chasing them every direction. The youngest one is playing softball, and is with a great team, and just really enjoying life with our girls. They keep us busy. They were running yesterday. They were riding horses at 6:30 in the morning, and then playing ball. And I got them picked up about 11 last night. So
they had a busy day.
They had a busy day. We're very fortunate in Oklahoma to have so many opportunities. Particularly, I appreciate what you said. We're happy. We have a long family history of public service and love agriculture, and most specifically Oklahoma agriculture, and happy to have the opportunity to raise our kids here too.
So does your daughter use you as a vet for the horses, or does she go outside you?
Well, she's stuck with me. She's stuck with me on the cows and the horses. But fortunately, most of her agri-science focus is on internal parasites, and she's got access to people smarter than me here at the College of Veterinary Medicine that are very kind to help her work on that. So we're pretty good. They both kind of think they might be interested in veterinary medicine. We'll see how that plays out. But they're pretty proud of both of them.
Awesome. Well, Dr. Rosalind Biggs with Oklahoma State University, thank you so much for coming on my show today. I really enjoyed it. And again, I just want to emphasize to our listeners and Dr. Biggs did too, it's just be vigilant. There's no use in panicking. And it's crazy what a lot of our media all the way around does, and kind of they want juicy news, but really we just need to be vigilant and pay attention to our animals no matter what they are. And reporting is going to be the most important thing, because you're not going to get much help if you're not reporting.
That's right. Armed with information will get us pretty far. Certainly appreciate the opportunity to be on today, Jimmy.
Okay, well, you have a great day.
All right, you too.
All right. Okay, today is the Oklahoma Farm Bureau Happy Hour. Let's take Oklahoma Farm Bureau break, brought to you by the Roger Mills County Farm Bureau, and we'll be right back.
Oh, Jimmy's all wound up and ready to go. Today in Ag with Jimmy Clark.
Hay wrap is what people use in their balers, the farmers, when they want to, baling up hay. It wraps it up. Is better than twine. So it's like one consistency, holds everything together, lasts longer, easier to cut off. Well, we started selling it because we got asked for it, because there's nowhere around here to really buy it, the good kind of net wrap that we have. So we found a vendor that's good price, and now we carry it. We've got it. Camrock is right south of Fred's Steakhouse in Elk City, Oklahoma.
When your tractor has a flat, you're stuck. When your truck's on a construction site and a tire goes down, you're in trouble. You need help. So you call down to Blair, and they come to you. They answer the phone, and somebody comes to wherever you are to fix your problem. They carry Firestone, Michelin, and some other tires. Blair Tire and Feed, Highway 283 and 19. On-site tire service, 563-2692. 563-2692. They come to you.
Hey, Western Oklahoma, this is Joe Buchanan. A vote for me is a vote for common sense. Help me help the kids, and let's turn education around. Vote Joe Buchanan for Senator, District 38. Let's work together. Please vote June 16.
Paid for and approved by friends of Joe Buchanan. Elect Joe Buchanan for State Senate District 38.
After a storm, most homeowners don't realize the damage until it's too late. At 100X Roofing, we've seen it time and time again across western Oklahoma. That's why so many homeowners trust us when it matters the most. We offer complimentary inspections to give you peace of mind and to catch problems early before they turn into costly repairs. And if you need to file a claim, we'll help you through the insurance process to make it simple and stress-free. With over 25 years of roofing and construction experience, we're proud to be licensed, insured, and community-focused. We don't just do roofing either. From siding to gutters to windows and doors, we're your complete storm damage experts. Ask us about upgrading your roof with a Class 4 impact-resistant shingle for stronger protection. And with financing available, getting the job done is easier than you think. When the storm passes, make the right call. Search 100X Roofing online or find us on Facebook. 100X Roofing, built on trust, proven in storms.
As a farmer or rancher, you're always looking for ways to save time and money. The Apache Hay Wagon from Everett's Welding in Visay, Oklahoma will help you do just that. The Apache Hay Wagon eliminates 80 to 90% of hay waste with its unique design. It hauls multiple bales, saving you time and money. Go by Everett's Welding today and ask to see the Apache Hay Wagon. You'll be glad you did. You can also visit them online at everettswelding.com.
XIT Auctions will be selling 140 acres of good Ouachita County farmland Thursday, June the 18th at Sentinel Activity Center. Now, Track 1's an 80-acre tract just 4 miles east and a half north of Sentinel, and Track 2 is a good 60-acre tract cropland just 3 miles east. Thursday, June the 18th, Sentinel Activity Center, 1 p.m. Call me, Aubrey Latham, 393-4440. XIT Auctions, ready to work for you.
Now, back to more of Today in Ag with Jimmy Clark.
All right, welcome back, everybody. I hope you guys enjoyed Dr. Rosalind Biggs on the show today with some information on the New World Screwworm. And again, if you get on to OSU Extension's website, you can track what OSU or what we're doing in Oklahoma as far as OSU, Department of Ag, in the state veterinarian's office, the whole 9 yards right there. And then there's a link in there that you can go to screwworm.gov to the USDA one. It's there. Information's there, guys. If you have a flip phone, I'm sorry. Just give me a call. I'll help you out. But I'm just giving you crap. But no, just be vigilant. Check your cattle a little bit more often right now. And I know we don't have any reported cases, but that dog in New Mexico, about 5.5 hours away, not that far. And a lot of, I think states and then plus the country like Canada, they're kind of, I guess they've shut down traffic from Texas cattle, but once you are cleared and blah, 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 then that, for at least 21 days. And so I think it'll be fun. All right, let's check out some Lipscomb dealerships weather out in the Texas Panhandle. Lake McClellan, 85 degrees, heat index at 85. The winds are out of the north at 22 miles an hour. Gust 25. Peak wind gust 43. 1.23 inches of rain so far in the month of June. 78 is the 8-inch soil temperature. That wind that's coming out of the north, it's coming just as hard as it was coming out of the south for the last few days, man. We just ain't going to get a break. But I think it's going to calm down a little bit tomorrow. Okay, let's check out the board. See what's happening with the grains and livestock up to date. Right now, July, Kansas City wheat, 632 up 2. September is 639 down 1. Chicago wheat, July, 584 down 3.5. Corn, July, 412 down 7. September 420 down 7 3/4. Soybean July 1109 down 13 3/4. August 1114 down 13.5. Soybean oil July 74.13 down 120. August 72.85 down 115. July soybean meal 302.20 up 30. August 302.40 up 20. Oats for July, 312 down 5 3/4. Cotton, what's cotton doing here? July, 72.28 up 118. Livestock, a lot of green here. There we go. Even with the hogs, a little bit, not much. Live cattle, June, 251.15 up 105. August, 242.95 up 145. Feeders, August 359.82 up 545. September 356.72 up 535. October is 537 up 535. October 353.15 up 542. Lean hogs, June 92.90 down 27. August down up 37 at 95.80. And let's see what the energies are doing. July oil 87.37 down 266. Natural gas July 306 down 11. There you have it. Okay, let's take another Oklahoma Farm Bureau break, brought to you by the Roger Mills County Farm Bureau. Be right back after this.
Jimmy's all wound up and ready to go. Today in Ag with Jimmy Clark.
First-time home buyers, they don't have the knowledge. They don't have the experience of previously owning a home. So I spend a lot of time with them, walking them through the process and explaining to them the requirements and things that are needed. I want to make sure that they understand that owning a home is a lot different than renting, because you're going to have maintenance, you're going to have insurance, you're going to have taxes, and you need to be able to calculate all of that into your budget. I'm Joe Shepard, and I help make the difference at First National Bank and Trust of Elk City and Sayre.
Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Valley Center pivots are the most durable and reliable you can find. But when you do need replacement parts, your operation deserves the best. Valley Genuine Parts. Knutson Irrigation has been serving growers since 1981, and their experienced service technicians stand behind every part in their fully stocked warehouse. They also service other Pivot brands. So when you need fast service and reliable parts, you need Knutson Irrigation. Call them for service or visit KnutSonIrrigation.com for more info.
My name is Butch Goldsberry, and I'm seeking a county commissioner position for Beckham County District 1. I've worked for the county for almost 13 years. In this time, I've gained firsthand knowledge of the county operations from the ground up. I'll be the first to tell you, I'm not a politician. I'm a public servant, and my goal is to make Beckham County a better, safer place for all of us. I would appreciate your vote on June 16th, and my promise to you is I will be your voice, your commissioner. Paid for by Butch Goldsberry for Beckham County Commissioner 2026.
Gary Ware here, formerly with Ware Chevrolet in Wheeler, Texas. I've had a lot of folks ask me where they should go to buy a new car or truck now. I'll tell you, Lipscomb Chevrolet GMC in Elk City, Oklahoma. We've known them for years, and they'll go above and beyond to earn your business. Right now, they've got a great opportunities for buyers after a recent hailstorm. They've got slightly dented, pre-owned, and new cars and trucks priced to move. Stop by Lipscomb Chevrolet GMC in Elk City or visit them at lipscombchevroletgmc.com. Together, let's drive.
Kent Watkins here with SE Agritech in Elk City. Are feral hogs and gophers destroying your land and crops? We have the solution. Introducing Kaput Feral Hog and Gopher Bait, engineered for maximum efficiency and safety. Protect your fields and restore your property with Kaput. And we sell out-of-state customers as well. Stop by and give us a call at SEI Agritech on South Randall in Elk City. And don't forget to follow us on Facebook for all the latest updates and information.
This is the Western Oklahoma Livestock Auction Market Report for Monday, June 8th. 639 head were sold. 3 head of steers at 408 brought $495. 11 at 575 brought $395. 4 at 611 brought $392.50. 5 at 613 brought $420. 11 at 655 brought $377.50. 9 at 718 brought $357.50. 9 at 1010 brought $310. 5 head of heifers at 468 brought $427.50. 14 at 497 brought $380. 24 at 520 brought $420. 4 at 571 brought $367.50. 7 at 625 brought $367.50. 22 at 737 brought $345. Butcher cows 130 to 185. Butcher bulls 140 to 234. Bred cows 900 to 3700. Pairs 1125 to 4350. Western Oklahoma Livestock Auction, Exit 71, Clinton, Oklahoma. Sale every Monday at 10 a.m. To consign, call Brandon Hickey 580-497-6095.
Jimmy's all wound up and ready to go. Here comes more of Today in Ag with Jimmy Clark.
All right, welcome back, everybody. Let's check out some Lipscomb dealerships weather up there in northwestern Oklahoma. I eased over there right into the corner, slap out. 83 degrees, 55 dew point, humidity 38, northeast winds 22, wind gust 32 miles an hour, 10-day rain total 2.6 inches. Pretty good. 3-day average 4-inch bears. Soil temperature 83 degrees, sunset at 8:59, 91 sunny today. Chance of thunderstorms 30% tonight, 62 for a low. That's better than the low 80s and high 70s we had this morning. Tomorrow 89 for a high, 30% chance of rain. Good news, folks. Urea prices returned to pre-Iran war levels in the United States, according to Farm Journal. Bloomberg's, I can't even say these names. They're not even in my vocabulary, said that these folks said the Iran war risk premium that swept through crop and fertilizer markets is rapidly evaporating as fears of prolonged supply disruption fade and easing one of the biggest threat to food inflation. Prices of urea, one of the world's most important crop nutrients, has plunged more than 30% since mid-April, wiping out the gains triggered by the conflict. Blah, blah, and blah. I can't pronounce these words. Said they're dragging down prices of corn, wheat, and other farm products with the Bloomberg Agriculture Spot Index tracking 10 of the world's most traded crops falling to its lowest level since March 5th on Friday. And it's a dramatic reversal from the earlier weeks of the war when the effective closure of the Strait of Hormuz choked off about a third of the globally traded urea supplies, sending prices soaring and leaving farmers scrambling for alternatives. Blah, blah, and blah reported the decline may curb farm input costs and slow the pace of food inflation. But experts caution that energy prices remain elevated, even though it's in the mid-80s today, while fertilizer is still sensitive to flare-ups in the Middle East. How about that? Bloomberg said that the prices for granular urea in New Orleans dropped to $453.50 a short ton. That's the lowest level since February 6th. That's down 36% from mid-April. And urea is the most common form of nitrogen fertilizer. Matter of fact, I'm putting some down on some sesame ground today. The drop in demand comes as U.S. farmers have largely finished applying fertilizers for the spring planting season. There you have it. Okay, promise you, this is the last break. I should have took some breaks while Dr. Biggs was on, but man, I just wanted to continue the information she was putting out. So let's take a Oklahoma Farm Bureau break, brought to you by the Roger Mills County Farm Bureau.
He loves to talk about farming and ranching. Today in Ag with Jimmy Clark.
It's known as the thief in the night. A lack of cattle mineral can lead to decreased weaning weight, small, weak calves, and severely compromised health. Don't let a gap in your feeding program rob your herd performance. Stop by Farmers Union Co-op Gin at 720 South Main in Elk City and pick up a bag of Purina Wind and Rain Storm Mineral today. That's Farmers Union Co-op Gin, 720 South Main in Elk City, 580-225-0191.
The lessons that taught me the most didn't come in my college classes. I've learned a lot about business by working at the bank, and I've learned a lot about banking by owning businesses. When both are done right, they sure can help each other. Helping new businesses get off the ground and start growing is just about my favorite thing to do. I love it. I'm Kyle Killoffer at Great Plains Bank in Elk City, member FDIC. When you're ready to talk business, come visit with me. I may be able to help.
Do you or anyone you know need help getting to medical appointments? RMAP, that's a new transportation program helping rural Oklahomans access medical care and wellness services in southwest Oklahoma. It's led by SWOTA and SORTPO. RMAP connects residents with transportation support. For information, call Delaney at 562-5033 or Jeff at 562-5038. This program is funded by CMS through the Oklahoma Rural Health Transformation Program. Visit oklahoma.gov/health/RHTP.
Every farmer and rancher knows nutrition is key when it comes to getting the best out of every animal. High Pro Feeds has built their reputation on providing the best nutrition possible. Their commitment to nutrition is unwavering. High Pro is a name you know and trust. Buy the best and get the results you deserve. Hobart Farm and Garden is your trusted High Pro Feeds dealer, providing quality feeds in bulk, bags, or sacks. Visit them online at hobartfarmandgarden.com.
You don't want to let your cotton set in the field day after day waiting to be gin. Now, to better serve you, the cotton farmers in Oklahoma and the Texas Panhandle, Lone Star Gin has processed over 540,000 bales of cotton. They've got locations in Pampa, Texas, and now in Burns Flat, Oklahoma. Lone Star Gin has the ability to process over 2,400 bales per day. All they do is gin cotton. Go to LoneStarGin.com for more information, and you can find them on Facebook.
Do you know Mickey Lively with Oklahoma Farm Bureau Insurance? If you do, you already know this about him.
When people meet me and get to know me, I think they do truly walk away with a feel of, you know what, when that guy says something, he means it. He means what he says what he means. I'm a straight shooter. I'll tell people up front, hey, I might not be able to beat that price. One thing that I always do when I meet with a client or with a new customer, I look over all their insurance stuff. And there are times I hand it back to them and say, hey, you've got great coverage at a great price. If you're not happy with your agent, let's look at making a change. But if you don't have any issues with them, hey, you've got another set of eyes that looked at your policy and you've got good coverage, you don't have anything to worry about. That goes a long way because a couple of years from now, they may have a rate increase. I'm Mickey Lively, and I work for Oklahoma Farm Bureau, and my office is located in Greer County.
Mickey Lively in Oklahoma Farm Bureau in Greer County.
Call 782-3827.
Life insurance and annuity products offered through Farm Bureau Life Insurance Company. Property and casualty products are offered through Oklahoma Farm Bureau Mutual Insurance and affiliated companies.
He loves talking about farming and ranching. Here's more of Today in Ag with Jimmy Clark.
All right, welcome back, everybody. Granite America. 94 degrees, feels like 105. Heat risk is high right now. Dew point 74, humidity's 52. The winds are out of the south, southwest at 11 with wind gusts up to 19. A little over an inch of rain so far in the last 10 days. 3-day average 4-inch bare soil temperature, 84 degrees. Sunset at 8:51. 30% chance of thunderstorms today, 100 for a high. 50% chance of thunderstorms tonight, 69 for a low. Tomorrow, 20% chance of thunderstorms and 93. This north wind's only going to last about 24 hours, and it's going to come back out of the south. I don't know if it's going to be bad or good. Speaking of winds, let's check out some winds real quick. The north winds, looks like they're switching like in Roger Mills County right now. Looks like, according to the Cheyenne home of Cash Daddy Mezzanette, 6 miles an hour straight out of the west, but she's pretty gusty up and around Woodward, Slap Out, Goodwill, Boise City, Buffalo, the May Ranch, Freedom. All you guys got wind coming out of the north. So it's creeping down here, so I figured probably next couple hours we'll have north winds here in Beckham County. So get ready. Kansas is blowing today, and Texas is getting ready to suck all the way across Oklahoma there. So there you go. All right, see here. We got a few minutes left here. And no winter wheat harvest progress in 10 key states. Winter wheat harvest is underway across the U.S. according to the June 8th Crop Progress Report published by the USDA. As of June 7th, 11% of the national crop has been harvested. That's 5 percentage points ahead of last year. Harvest pace is largely ahead of a typical schedule in Arkansas, California, Illinois, Kansas, Missouri, North Carolina, and Oklahoma and Texas. Farmers are making harvest progress at a pace near the 5-year average. So the progress report is out from the Wheat Commission here in Oklahoma, and I'll share that with you tomorrow. So we got plenty of time. But according to this, where'd it go? I guess they deleted Oklahoma. I wanted to share that with you guys. So, again, the Oklahoma Wildlife Department is also asking people to be vigilant on reporting the New World screwworm. If you see any animals, I wonder if chickens can get it. I haven't seen that. I see they say about poultry, but they, I don't know. I was wondering if chicks get it. Here's the thing that I was reading up last night, and this is from a very genuine source, is, ticks. Watch for ear ticks in your calf ears, ticks on your animals, period, because that's an open spore, and that's a good place for flies to lay the larva, the screwworm larva. So think about that, too, with your looking at your animals. If you got, you know, how you might have one of your calves out there with droopy ears, check him out. See what he's got going on in there. I will tell you, I'm running 2 experiments with ear tags this year. Dr. Taylor put ear tags in a set of calves over here west of Elk because we had ticks so bad west of Elk here, and they're working very good. And then also part of the new heifers we got, replacement heifers mixed with first calf heifers down there. We put fly tags in their ears, and we don't have fly tags in the other one's ears. You can tell the difference. It does work. So check with your local vet on how to use all that stuff. See you tomorrow. It's Today in Ag with Jimmy Clark, brought to you by First National Bank and Trust of Elk City and Sayre, America. God bless everybody.